Okay, great. All right, this is Mike with MikeGolfsOregon, and tonight I'm very, very excited, very pleased, and very honored to have a guest on who is coming from. Last week I did a guest, my first international guest, coming from Canada, and this week, sticking with the theme, but going maybe a little further afield, going to Western Australia or further afield, however you like to say it, to Western Australia. I'm super happy and excited to have Dave from Fore Golf with me tonight to talk about his journey in golf and his journey with YouTube. Dave, thank you so much for coming on, especially at this hour. I appreciate it. I want to ask you how you're doing tonight.
Well, first of all, thank you very much, Mike. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. I'm doing well. It's a convenient hour for me. It's just in the middle of the day. It's a Monday. I'm a day ahead. Indeed, further afield, it was pretty good. They've got to get a little bit more cockney with the pronunciation of that. But yeah, good to be here, and happy to have a little chat.
I want to start with a dad joke because I've always wanted this chance to say, how's it look in the future, Dave? What's tomorrow got for me?
Sunny, 32 degrees.
Okay. I'm going to hold you to that.
It's Celsius as well, so that's I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. 90 maybe. Yeah.
It's nice. It's nice, is what that is. Nicer than what we got. So yeah. That's awesome. So first time I saw your channel, right, was maybe 2020, 2021, and I see this guy. He's clearly playing in Australia, and I hear him talking, and I'm thinking, he's in Australia. That just doesn't sound like an Australian accent, right? Yeah. Come to find out, you weren't born in Australia. So what is your golfing background? Clearly, you came from the UK. Were you a golfer in the UK? Share sort of your journey from the UK, golf-wise, from the UK to Australia.
Yeah, cool. So, I mean, I first started playing golf when I was maybe about 11 or 12, something like that. My dad's played all his life, and so I went out, with him initially, and then with mates around to par 3 courses and stuff like that, and played quite a bit up until the age of about 14, maybe something like that. Started playing cricket for a little bit, which is like baseball with pads. And so I played cricket for a bit, and then I played football for many years. And I really didn't play golf again until maybe 22, 23, something like that.
Is this in the UK? Sorry.
Yeah, still in the UK.
Okay.
Yeah. And that was after I'd gone travelling as well. So Australia was where I went travelling, and I decided I wanted to live over here. But to stay on track with the golf, I started playing again a little bit, around 23-ish, and we left the UK when I was 27. So I'd played for a few years, and I got myself down to, I guess, probably about 14 or 15, something like that, when I was still in the UK, like handicap-wise. And I was a member of like a fairly decent golf club over there as well. Actually, one of the regional qualifying courses for the Open. So,
nice.
It was a good golf course, and I was playing on 14, 15, something like that there. And then when we moved here, just with starting a new life in a new country and everything, I don't think I played golf for like 5 years.
Okay.
I had clubs still, but I had not used them. So then I went and joined a golf club near me in a town called Yanchep, Sun City Country Club, which if you've watched videos, or anyone that's watching has watched videos, majority of the content over the years has come from Sun City. And I think I'd been there for maybe about a year, something like that. And I got given for a birthday or something like that, like a little action camera. So it's not a GoPro, it was something like that. It was like another brand. And I was like, I'm just going to take that out there and just start filming, and it was really to have a look at what my swing was like and stuff like that, and see if I could work anything out from that, which is comical because I was like off 20 at the time or something.
blind teaching the blind.
Exactly, yeah. Like I wouldn't be able to diagnose anything from it. But And I then discovered that I just thought, well, do you know what? I'm watching, all the golf channels at the time. I'm watching Rick and Peter Finch, and even back then, like Mark Crossfield,
Yeah.
and I'm like, well, I have no idea how to edit, like, and I'm not, or I didn't feel like I was an instinctively creative person or anything like that. But I was like, you know what? I'm just going to try and edit it, and I'll just put it out there, and it's still out there. It's on my channel. Like the first video that I ever did, it's horrifically cringe from
I've
my
got some
point of
questions
view to
about it.
watch
I've got
that.
some questions.
We'll save that one then. Yeah,
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 yeah.
because we'll dive into that. But yeah, from a golf perspective, though, yeah, then I um, being a member of a club and playing regularly, and then making the content that handicap started to tumble. I got down to 12 pretty quick. So I mean, initially when I went, I think my first handicap here in Australia was 24. So I'd
Okay.
halved it, and so as the progress was going, and I just kind of had this idea with the channel. I don't know. I can't remember who it was, but I remember playing with someone, and off of a high handicap, and them saying, "Man, with the way you hit the ball, like you could easily get down to a 4." And I'm like, I must have said something along the lines of, "Well, I'm more shouting 4 at the moment." And I'm like, there might be something in there. I don't mind that. So yeah, I kind of built it all around that, and then over the years, yeah, it did improve. But I have never got down to the 4 yet. 7 point something is as low as I got so
Yeah.
far. And I'm now sitting back up and in around 12, something like that.
Yeah.
So a
Riding
little bit of
riding the
struggle.
wave.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it did go back out to about 14 at one point, but yeah, slowly pulling it back down. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Do I still think I can get there? Maybe. I mean, yeah, time's not on my side, I suppose, but um, I'm hopeful, and so yeah, the dream is still there. But I think as well, it's not just the 4 to 4 thing. I think it was something that I could always have as a kind of like a mindset or whatever, even for others. Do you know what I mean? So like, we're all trying
Yeah.
to improve. We're all trying to play the game better, and so yeah, I think not a bad decision in the name in the end.
Sure.
But yeah,
Yeah. So I want to go back. So when you joined Sun City,
yeah,
a question that I had was, and it's great that I hear, you say that you were a member of a club in the UK and then a member in Australia. What are the
yeah,
differences that you've seen in the golf culture, both the club culture and then just golf culture in general between those two? Because the great thing is like the internet makes it easy for us to access those different cultures. And it's clear there's a difference even though they're YouTubers, it's a difference watching UK YouTubers that are playing in clubs and watching guys that are in Australia playing in clubs.
yeah. No, it's a good point. I suppose the the club I was a member at in the UK was, I'd say, not so much exclusive, but it was, it was a bit posh. Like it was a little bit, and I think that's very different to where I am. Like I'm at a golf club now that is a very good golf course and is rated very highly, for the state and for Australia generally as well. Um, but a lot of the members of, there's certainly not, posh, like they're all,
Yeah.
working people, and there's a huge expat community in and around the northern suburbs around Perth, and
Okay.
so I would say, yeah, you're probably 50, 60% are Australian, but then you've got a lot of English, you've got a lot of South Africans, you've got a lot of Irish, Scottish. So it's kind of like a mix between the two. But, it's definitely, it's different. It's less formal, I think,
Okay.
club membership at that level. And I'm not saying there aren't clubs that are here that would feel a lot more
Sure.
exclusive. That um, you know there's
Don't go.
still etiquette to them, right? Like
Yeah.
so you take your hat off when you go inside
Sir,
and
we
stuff.
wear jackets in the clubhouse.
Well, but yeah, the club where I was a member at in the UK, I'm pretty sure you had to have a jacket
Okay.
to
Yeah.
to go into one of the areas, and I never used to. But yeah, it definitely can be different. Yeah, it's much more of a social and I don't want to say sort of like pubby sort of atmosphere, but it is a bit, and I think that's probably due to the fact of the people that are in it, like me,
Yeah.
the
It's
the,
it sounds
the
more
dedicated.
like the club that I'm in. It sounds more like the
Yeah,
club that I'm in, and from the outside, right, from outsider perspective, you as an American, you look at it like, well, the Australians look pretty pretty damn laid back. So I can't imagine them being overly stuffy. And then,
nah,
then you watch Peter Finch go to some of these clubs and he's wearing goofy socks pulled up to his knees because it's a rule. And and
yeah.
you don't see that so much in Australia.
Nah, not really. You still get a few where it'll be white socks only and stuff like that, but it would definitely a lot more relaxed here in that regard. And um, I mean, as one example, we have for the Saturday competitions, you have presentations at the end and stuff like that, which is not uncommon and whatever. But we have a last place award as well, and that person is sung a song by the entire clubhouse
Sweet.
to go and collect their award, which goes along the tune of "You're the worst golfer in the club." And it's my favourite part of the week because the whole clubhouse it's all in jest. It's like a football
Yeah,
kind of chant sort of thing. But it's hilarious. And I've received it a couple of times, and it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. It really
yeah.
is.
That's pretty fantastic. You mentioned competitions, and one of the things that I think I've sort of picked up on, both in both in watching in your videos, watching other Australian videos, and then watching UK YouTube videos, is it seems like, and correct me if I'm wrong, that when you are calculating handicaps, that you're only using competition rounds. And
Yes.
I don't know if I'm misunderstanding your definition of competition rounds. Does that mean it's an actual it's like Saturday we're playing an 18-hole stroke play match and off we go? Or what does you mean by that?
So effectively, you will have multiple competitions, but it just means that they're handicapped events,
Okay.
rather than just social play. So you can absolutely still just go out play social play, but if you want to enter the competition, there's normally a small fee, $5 or $10 to actually enter the competition, and then that allows for some prize money at the end of it and whatever. But the simple delineating thing between them is that you have to nominate in advance that you're going to enter that competition. So then,
Okay.
regardless of what your score is, that counts to your handicap.
Oh, okay.
And then so all other things, and I might use the opportunity to throw a question back at you. Um, like, there's no gimmies, right? You've got to
Yep.
putt out. Like if it's stroke play, yeah, you're not using the stroke limit, but a lot of them are Stableford, so you just pick up at double bogey or whatever. Um, but yeah, so it just means that any of your competition rounds are are registered, if you like. There's not
Okay.
like what I think it might be a little bit more like in the US, where you could play any time, and then if you want to put that card in, you can. Like
Yep.
you can't do that here. You have to have said, yeah, I'm in the competition for that to count. There are a few ways around it, with like kind of social golfing groups and stuff like that. So you might be a member of. We've got a few here. Perth Golf Network is one of them, where they have various competitions, different days around the different clubs, but you don't have to necessarily be a member of that club and enter their daily competition. So, but again, the same rules apply. You have to have said, "I'm going to be playing in that tomorrow."
Like you
And
declare it, and once you declare it, that's it. It's going on your card.
correct, yeah, good, bad, or ugly. That score is going to count to you.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
here it is just like you say, right? I could go out and play 9 holes or 18 holes or whatever
yeah.
and post it. And so the good news is it makes it easy to establish a handicap. The bad news is you get all these fake handicaps.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, that sounds great.
You get
I,
a lot of vanity handicaps. Guys saying, "Well, I'm a single figures," and you go out and play with them, and you're like, "No, you're not. No, you're not." Uh,
and gimmies and stuff like that,
I
like they
don't.
still
So I
count.
my golfing partner is my wife and her brother. They're hyper competitive. We play everything into the hole. We play by the rules every time. Everybody takes their drops, takes their penalties, and there are no gimmies. And we laugh because every now and then someone will come play with us, and they'll say they'll have a 2 footer, and they'll go to pick it up, and it's always my wife jumps right on. She's like, "No, you've got to putt that." And
Yeah,
it's a hilarious because they always say, "Well, why would you make me putt that?" And then they miss it,
well, that's why.
and we
Yeah,
say, "That's why." That's why. So
yeah. But I
so
think
it
so you had that, but like the vanity kind of handicaps, where they're appearing to be a lot better than they actually are. But you get the others as well. You get the sandbaggers, right? And
You
then
get
they
both
go
of
up
them.
to
Yep,
a guess and
yep.
and
I
completely up.
actually just played in my first 18-hole stroke play competition today, this morning. Um, and I've played in men's. When we say men's league in the U.S., it's totally different. It's a hit and giggle, alternate shot, all kinds of funny stuff, kind of deal. That's what a lot of the men's clubs are here. But I joined a club that actually has competitions around the state, and I played my first one today. Um, it did not go very well, Dave. But it is fun to finally go out and play and watch everybody have to play everything out. I
Yeah,
like that part of it. I like that element of it. So I think that's pretty good. Um, so you've been doing this for I think 8 years now, and this meaning the YouTube channel. You've seen a lot, you've done a lot, your channel's evolved a lot. What are some of the trends in YouTube golf you're glad to see go over that time? And are there any trends currently that you would like to see go?
yeah, right. That's a difficult question. I suppose a lot of it's changed with my viewing habits. I mentioned, I started watching people like Rick and Peter Finch, Mark Crossfield, and most of the time it was coaching kind of tips,
Hmm.
and that sort of stuff that I was watching. So I was probably watching, 10 hours a week of coaching tips, none of which are necessarily relevant to me,
I'm laughing based on my experience watching coaching tips, and I've banned myself from all of those videos.
yeah, exactly, and trying to change my swing 18 different times, and trying to fix a snap hook that I don't have, like it just yeah. So I guess I think it's maybe my viewing habits have changed. Those videos definitely still exist, but I think those the biggest channels, they've moved away from doing that kind of thing. I think while it's useful, I think it can be some of the most destructive elements to people's golf games, like following, not unsolicited advice. It's the opposite of that. It's they're saying here's advice, but it's not necessarily should be for
It's
you, right?
unguided. It's unguided towards their particular problem, right?
That's it.
It's
Yeah. So
self-selected.
yeah, but I mean, I've definitely seen as well that the level and the production level in content is just astronomically better now.
Yeah,
It's you now to have a successful golf channel, you couldn't do it without shot traces, right? You could of some description, but I did a lesson video, so it's just me on a driving range, and yeah, I didn't put shot traces on it, and I had people complaining, like, oh, I don't know where that ball went. I was like, it's just a lesson, it doesn't matter, like no, they just people expect it now. So I don't know. I think I, I think it's great that those boundaries keep getting pushed, but as a creator who's trying to differentiate themselves in a a very competitive market, it does make it very difficult because the bar is just so high,
yeah.
to start. So I don't know if that's so much something I'd want to see go, because I just think it keeps making it better. But every so often, it'd just be quite nice to not do it. And I play around with it sometimes. So we got the cameras at Zoom now, as well, that are way better. So you can
Yeah.
kind of get away with it, and not have to put things like traces on every time. But I don't know. I think from my point of view, like, yeah, you're always trying to make a better product at the end of the day. Um, but you can get hung up in all the graphics, and that sort of stuff, thing. And it does. I don't know if that's always the way to go with
Yeah,
it. Like Pete Finch, like I love his content,
I
but
do
then I
too.
watched some of them lately, and I'm like, there's a lot going on here. Like, and I know what he's trying to do. He's just trying to push that boundary. I'm like, this is just too distracting. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's all over the place. So,
He's a great
yeah, maybe,
example. He's a great example of that too, because his personality is so good and he's so good on camera. He
yeah,
doesn't need, in my opinion, doesn't need all of the extra stuff
yeah,
to make his video successful and good and stand out, because he shines through all of it and he should really just rely on that, in my opinion.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah,
It helps
but
that he's really good at golf as well. He just made the
he's
cut in an Asian Tour event this week as well. So,
yeah, and
yeah,
he's actually getting better. Like over
yeah.
the last 2 years, it's like actually gotten better. It's like, how do you get better when you're already that good?
Imagine that. Imagine having a YouTube channel and actually getting better at golf.
Who would have thunk that such a thing would be possible?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I kind of, as a small channel and just kind of doing this for fun, there's always that pressure of like, oh, maybe I should add this or maybe I should add that. And I think at times I have been trying to like strip things away and make it as just sort of um, simple for me as possible, because I don't
Yeah.
want to burn out on this because I enjoy it too much. And so it's like, let's just keep it simple. The tracers are, they're a pain in the ass enough. I don't need to add a bunch of other stuff. And I also have noticed that there's a lot of channels coming on, or they'll have series in their on their channels, um, that are sort of raw, right? Very
Mm.
lightly edited, just sort of me and the camera and the course or that kind of stuff. And I think that that is probably poised to take off.
Yeah.
I
I
think.
was I was very close. In fact, if it hadn't have been just a little bit windy this morning, I was gonna just go out and do like an ASMR kind of what, like just the
Yeah.
sounds of golf sort of thing. Just because, yeah, it would have been an easy one. I could have turned it around for Wednesday, which I don't have anything at the moment. So it was, that was my plan. But yeah, unfortunately, those this morning, those sounds of golf would have just been horrendous wind noise. So yeah, hopefully
or
it's
the
just
hay fever.
yeah, yeah,
Hay fever and wind.
yeah.
Yeah. So COVID was sort of like gasoline on a fire for YouTube golf. What was your channel experience during that time?
Uh, actually, it was one of the periods of like quite extreme growth for me as a channel. It definitely it tested the creativity levels. There's no doubt about that because um, don't get me wrong, I was incredibly fortunate to be in the most isolated city in the world during COVID. So the actual impact here was pretty low. Like we had a lockdown of about 4 weeks, something like that. That was it. And then we had some restrictions afterwards and stuff like that. But look, from my point of view, I mean, I set up like almost like a mini golf course in the back garden, and me and my
Um,
wife played a game. And again, I look at that video now and be like, oh my god, what am I doing? But at the time it was like, well, it's just a bit of fun, and yeah, certainly fond of that. I was doing workouts in the back garden and stuff like that, so it definitely tested it from that point of view. But what it did do, I guess, after that, as I say, is there were still a lot of people after I was allowed out to play that weren't. So from that point of view, there was never really a better time to get out there and just try and make some content out on the golf course. So because people were so hungry for it.
yeah,
So yeah, look, a terrible thing all around,
yeah,
but yeah, I mean, if I'm honest, yeah, it was one of the things that was the catalyst for me actually getting some growth. I mean, you mentioned that not wanting to be burnt out. I've 100% reached that point a couple of times, where I'm just like, do you know what, this isn't going to happen. And The dream of not having to go to work anymore, just doing this, this, I'll just give up on it, like it's not going to happen. And a couple of times, thankfully, I have come back for various reasons, but it's very easy to get into um, that mindset where this something needs to change here. I need to see something, otherwise, just I'm not interested in it anymore. And as I say, I've been there a couple of times, and yeah, you just got to either try something new, or take a step back from it and decide whether it is something that you really want to do. But yeah, every time I've come back so far.
I just had an epiphany while you were talking here about something about myself. I enjoy the thing about the YouTube that I really enjoy. It's fun if you get a video that sort of pops a little bit, and it's all relative based on your channel size. But I think I honestly enjoy more the process of making the videos. Um,
Yeah.
and I wish this is the epiphany I had. I wish I could approach golf that way. I wish I could embrace the process and not be so focused on, but I want this result, but I want this at the end. You hear people say all the time, it's a process, it's process. Stick to the process, stick to the process. And I realize, boy, I really enjoy the process of YouTube. I
Yeah.
I really don't get bent out of shape if something doesn't work or whatever, because I had fun thinking it up and putting it together and playing around with it. But for golf, I need to learn how to get that mindset for golf and just be
Yeah.
like super process oriented and not worry about everything else.
Absolutely. Yeah, the process you can control, the
Yeah.
outcome you cannot. And I think about it from videos that I've end up making that I've been incredibly proud of, where I think, this is, I love this, and they absolutely flop. They don't go anywhere, and then I make absolute. I was going to swear, but I won't. Awful videos, low production value and stuff like that, and they go crazy. And there's just no justice in that. So you're absolutely right. You have to be happy with what you're making, and if you're happy with what you're making, the result to a degree is irrelevant,
Yeah.
and yeah, the it's a tough competitive landscape, and to say, even if you think you're doing all the right things, every time they flop. You see it with Rick's videos. Like every so often, Rick will
Yeah.
have a video, and you're like, no one has watched that. Relatively, no one.
Relative. It's all
You know,
relative. Yeah.
yeah. Like he's getting video, and they have like 20,000 views in it. And you're like, well, I mean, I'd kill for 20,000 views,
Yeah.
but from Rick's point of view, it'd be like, I'm never doing that again.
Yeah.
But I suppose that's the difference comes there. That is his job now, right?
Hmm.
That's all it is, Whereas for us, this is a hobby. So yeah, if it's a hobby, it should be fun.
Yeah.
If
And,
it's
and, and
not,
and when I
do
say no
something
one
else.
watches, when I say no one watches my video, I mean literally no one watches my video. So,
Yeah,
but
right.
you're right. It is a hobby, and it is. I think I've in a couple of these other conversations I've talked about this and said that I think that if you're approaching it as a business, it's not going to be so much fun.
No,
It's gonna you're gonna be bound by playing the YouTube game. But if it's an expression of your creativity and it's your truly your passion, your hobby, then it's a different mindset, and you really shouldn't burn out because it's your passion and it's your hobby,
yeah,
and you're not chasing checking the boxes of what you have to do to be a successful YouTuber.
yeah.
Now, if you want to do it that way, fine. I watch all their content. It's great.
Mm.
But that's kind of where I rationalize and protect myself probably from lack of success by just saying this is really a creative expression for me and what I like to do.
Do
So that's sort of how I
do
look at
you,
it.
do you like the editing process?
I do.
Yeah,
I do. I'm probably a little lucky. My younger sister she has a video production company in Houston, a very successful company, and she has been a video director, producer, editor for probably close to 30 years now.
yeah. Wow.
And so it's really fun to call her up and say, "Hey, how do you do this? What about this?" And she's like, she's sitting in literally $1 million studio, and I'm sitting at a old laptop that's just choking on all the data from a single video. But it's fun. I do enjoy it. I do enjoy the editing process. Probably like everybody else, I think I do get to that stage in every video where it's like, okay, post it. I don't think anything else is going to make this any better. This is good.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go.
There's there's a phrase from I watch a lot of gaming channels and stuff like that, and there's one creator that a phrase that he uses, and it's got nothing to do with the editing, but that's how I apply it. Don't let perfect be the enemy of good,
Yes.
and good is like more than enough, right? So you can obsess over these things, but as I say, you can spend that time, and if you get something intrinsically out of you spending that time on that, and you're just really really happy with it at the end of it, that's awesome. But equally, you probably could have spent 2 hours less on it,
Yeah.
spent that time with your family or whatever, uh, and it would have done just as well.
Yep.
So it's where it's worth it. And I also from time to time I'll edit for other channels as well, and other outlets, clients and stuff like that. I've done some private editing for now as well, as long as the tax office in Australia aren't listening. Um, and that's when I spend a lot. I spend way more time on
Yeah.
their edits. Like that's where I'm like, oh, okay, right, no, I have to make this good. Like I've got to be really, really happy with it. Half the time with my stuff, just because of the way I edit, there's a lot. I would probably say 10-15% of the time, I haven't even watched the video all the way through, and I've already exported it and uploaded it to YouTube. Like because I kind of know what's happening through there, but I
Yep.
haven't just sat down and watched the whole video. It's just not just to get it out.
Yep. I've done that many times, and then just leave it on, unlisted or private, and then watch it on YouTube and be like, "Oh no, no, that's not going to
Yeah,
work." Or
yeah.
sure, this is good enough. Let's go for it. Let's go for it.
Mm.
We've touched on it a couple times. Older videos, going way back. One of the fun things for me doing these with other creators is binging their channels in the days leading up to this, and it always starts with the oldest videos, right? So I've gone back and seen all your oldest videos. It's really hard to go back and watch your early stuff. Not you, but just for you even, and for any creator to go back and watch your early stuff because hopefully you've grown as a creator. But what are your thoughts when you go back and look at those in terms of what you were trying or hoping to accomplish? And what do you think you got right in those early days? What do you think you got right, and what are some of the obvious things that you got pretty major wrong?
Yeah, right. Okay, so I I think the thing that I did right in those early videos is I just got out there and I didn't care. I like I care now more about what those videos are like than I did back then. Like now I have a so like, way too strong emotional attachment to how bad those videos are. But I remember I remember watching I can't remember who it was, but they were talking about your first 100 videos on YouTube as a creator, and they're like your first 10 will be without a doubt the worst things you ever produce. So don't stress about them. Just go out and try and be you and find out what works. Uh, that that to me was like a light bulb. I was like, okay, it's a free pass, it's a free hit. Let's just go and just try and do some stuff. Um, I think yeah, but the overwhelming yeah. What I did well is that I went and I tried things, and um, the follow on to that was like the next 20 videos, like you're going to be a lot happier with, and then you're going to try and change things, and you kind of that resets all along. And I do find that even now, I'm always trying to find some new way of doing things, like so that it's not too stale or anything like that. Um, but what always tends to happen is the same sort of format videos just always hit, and it's okay, well, why trying to reinvent the wheel? And I guess because that then comes down to is this still a hobby or is this a job?
Yeah.
And it's don't get me wrong, I'd love it to be a job in many respects. I'd love it to pay like a job, but would that take away some of the excitement in and around it. And I think that has a lot to do with who you're with as well. And I'm very fortunate to have a couple of other awesome creators here
Yeah.
in Perth that I'm good friends with, and we're able to help each other out. But yeah, so right back to your question, like if I hadn't have made all those mistakes, like I never would have got to this point anyway. So they're necessary evils, simple as that. Those early videos, like,
Yeah.
and yeah, I mentioned that first video in a video recently, and then I just kept getting comments on the
I, s-
original video.
I
Like,
saw I saw the
wrong.
comments. I saw it.
Ugh. Yeah, so I just funneled everyone back to it.
Actually, I had fun when I was going through. I was just kind of like writing down the videos that were making me laugh because I'm like, man, this has got to be one of those ones where you look back and you're like, I don't know about that. My
Yeah,
two of my favorites that I was like, this is great. You did a video on your favorite YouTube channels, and it was all
yeah,
smaller creators. And I look back because I know every one of those channels,
yeah.
and I think maybe one of them is still going. Um,
Probably backyard golfer,
I
maybe.
think it might be Backyard Golfer, but like I haven't seen Dougie put anything out. I haven't seen Bogey Brothers put anything out.
No,
I'm trying to remember who the others were, but my all-time favorite of your oldest videos is you put out a video, and I should have wrote down the date. It was a red background with your logo, and it was a video just telling people they need to subscribe.
really.
Because I was like, I don't remember seeing this video, and I click on it. It's really short. It's like maybe 2 minutes, and it's
Oh, I do
the whole
remember that.
video is just subscribe.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean,
And
first
then
of all,
that's that.
yes, subscribe.
Yeah, I think
Um,
that's one of those videos where it's like, yeah, you're just trying stuff out. Like, and I can,
well, yeah.
and I
I'll tell
was
you what
thinking,
that one was. Sorry.
sure, no,
Yeah,
go ahead.
I know what that one was. It came
Yeah.
to me. Uh, I just realised that you could, whether YouTube added that function or something like that, but you could select a video to play when someone lands on your page
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
when they're unsubscribed
yeah.
and when they are subscribed. So when they were not subscribed, I was like, do you know what? Let's just chuck that on there, and I have no idea. In fact, should we find out? Should we find out together how many subscriptions we've had from that video?
From that video, yeah.
Um,
I would love to.
oh my god, it'd be years ago, and I've got
I'm gonna
no
laugh
idea.
if it's a big number. It's gonna be awesome.
I how am I even going to find it? Let's just type in subscribe. Sorry, this is first class content for anyone watching, but yeah, okay. There are. I'll try to make sure that it doesn't. Oh no, I've just gone the analytics. Right, so from that, 11. 11 subscribers, and it came out in 2022.
2022. Okay.
So yeah,
So
not that effective, to be
no,
honest.
but it makes sense now. But when I'm
Yeah,
going back through the old videos and I'm like, what is this one? There's like,
yeah.
Dave's better at thumbnails than this. And then I clicked on it, and that was very entertaining.
That
What's
yeah. Sorry, go on.
No, I was gonna kind of feeding into that, like not about the old videos. What's the video that you're probably the most proud of? Not probably.
Right.
Which video are you the most proud of?
Uh, I'm gonna cheat a little bit because I've got the list behind me, but I I've been really lucky to have played at some amazing golf courses now. Um, I think it's probably more um, the the combination of factors in terms of how good the video ends up being is often like you can the way I'd equate it is sometimes your opinion of golf course is solely or is impacted by how well you played on
Mhm.
that day, and it really shouldn't be. It should be subjective. What the golf course was like. I really try to detach, how well I played in a video to, like how good I feel the video is. You've like properly put me on the spot here, but I'd honestly have to say a lot of them, they're not amazing videos, but just what went into them, the stuff that we made in New Zealand, Like
Yeah.
that as a golf destination is just
Yeah.
out of this world. Now, I was awful at golf for that whole trip, but they were amazing. Jack's Point is just a stunningly beautiful
Yeah.
golf course. When I've played in Dubai as well, like just incredible golf courses and such a good trip. But I don't know. I think some of the videos that I used to do that they were a lot more kind of trying to be cinematic and that kind of thing. I'm struggling to pick one, but there's quite a few times where it's like trying to pick your favorite kid sort of scenario. You just the ones where I've spent time on them and like really been happy with them. Like they're always the ones that stand out. Like because I can always tell I can always tell how much I'm enjoying it is, when I start seeing the editing time creeping up over the 3-4 hour mark, and it's like, okay, yeah, like, I'm actually, yeah, I'm enjoying this one. Whereas a lot of the time, like a 9-hole video, like these days, if I haven't cracked it out in 3 hours on the edit, I'm like, what am I doing here? Like,
Yeah.
just hurry up. Like, time's money now. So, but yeah, I don't know. I do like trying the new things as well. Like just trying to find different ways to turn out content. And different ways. I've got such a mixed audience. That is what the analytics tells me. Where because I do a lot of different things. If I look
Yeah.
at well, okay, again, using Rick as the example, his main channel now is all the same content, and he created different channels for the product stuff. And whereas I don't, they're all here, right?
Yeah.
It could be me just talking to the camera, like literally with no plan, and it being 15 minutes of me just talking. It could be a much more detailed product type review where I've actually, like kind of structured the video out, or you've then got the on-course stuff as well. So it's the viewers are always really different. Like so, it's often like kind of difficult to cater to all the audiences. I have thought about splitting it up, but it just seems like so much work.
It
And then
seems
I've got
like
to
a
get
lot of
a count up on all of them, and yeah, it's just
it seems like a lot of work. You touched on two things and it raised two questions that I'd had. One was when you look at your analytics, you talk about your audience being sort of in different groups or whatever. The question I had, what does your by country viewer breakdown look like? I'm
uh,
curious, somebody like who's posting from somewhere as remote as Perth, what does it look like?
so overwhelmingly Australia is
Mhm.
is the base. I don't think the actual analytics gives me within Australia. I can only kind of determine through like the ball marker sales recently and stuff like that. They were all over. Like I'm sending them all over Australia. Um, there is quite a decent following. Well, the US is second. Sorry.
Okay.
So yeah, it's Australia, then the US, then the UK. But it's about 70% Australia, then probably about 10. Probably about 10% US, 10% UK, and then the rest. And Canada's like the top of that list.
Okay.
But I did, curiously though, when I was going through the analytics, I saw that you could automatically transcribe or have videos translated into other languages. And I was like, who's doing that to my videos? I've got to find out, And I did see that there were quite a few people translating it into Spanish, into Korean,
Yeah.
and it was there was another language in there as well. So I did it. And if you haven't done this already, go onto one of your videos or go onto one of my videos and change the language to it will do an auto translation into those other languages. I sat and listened to me in a Spanish accent, and it was "Cato to Cato Golf,"
Oh,
which
there you go.
yeah. So it actually worked. I was surprised, but yeah, the audience is definitely here. I get incredibly humbled when I do see people out there and they recognise me and stuff like that. That definitely happens. a decent amount when I'm around golf courses in Perth.
I'd
So
imagine.
yeah, the following is, is pretty strong here. Um, but then it does happen as well when we go different places. So especially if I go with
Yeah,
someone like Mr. Chopper,
yeah.
uh, he can't go anywhere without getting someone shouting something at him.
Someone's always yelling at him from across the fairway and all of his, probably for the past year, it seems like. And, you know, being 8 feet tall and wearing that shirt, probably, and the
Yeah,
hat, it's just like a
he's
beacon
hard
for
to
people to
miss.
yell.
Yeah, he's hard to miss. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's pretty good. The other question that you triggered in my mind was, so many smaller channels, which is a lot of the folks that are watching this tonight and will watch it later. They're so intent on chasing that thousand, that number, that magic threshold number.
mm,
What would you tell them? What changes? You and I talked a little bit about something that I had not really thought about before we went live here, about what that changes in your ability, what you can and cannot, or are willing and not willing to do on your channel. What are some of the what are some of the things you've learned that maybe people should be aware of?
mm.
Kind of beware what you wish for.
Yeah, I think the overwhelming advice that I give to people is you can only be you. Don't try and be someone else, and because if you're making stuff up, you have to remember what you said. Simple as that. So you have to be honest. Like and you, no matter within reason, how outside of society norms you might be as an individual, there are people out there that will identify that.
Yeah.
Right? Simple as that. They are there. You've got to find a way to reach them. And the best way to reach them is to be you with enthusiasm, to uh, to have a genuine passion, for it. And then, unfortunately, you also have to have a great deal of luck. Something's got to go your way. And, uh, I think you. Another scenario, I suppose, is like I find when I play with better golfers, I play better. Simple as that. So surround yourself if you can, if you have the opportunity, you know, to pick the brains of other creators and stuff like that of how they're doing things and what they might suggest. All of that kind of thing within reason. Don't email Rick Shields, asking for him. Like and I think as well from a point of view like a collaboration sort of thing. Where it makes sense, like, yeah, see if they're interested in it. But also remember that they've done all that work,
Yeah.
and like there needs to be something in it for them as
Yes.
well. Like it's that for I've been monetized for about 3 years now, something like that. Yeah, those 5 years, like, they're the toughest, like no doubt. I think once you get to a monetized status on YouTube, you're in like the top 1% of channels.
Which
So
is
you've
amazing, I
done the
think.
hard work.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So I think you just got to be authentic, genuine, uh, enthusiastic is the key. Like I just think that makes it so much easier for audience to actually connect with.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing that I always try to be is still enthusiastic, even if it's enthusiastic about how absolutely dog shit. Sorry, I wasn't going to swear. I
You
was
just
at
swear
golf
away.
at that point. I still try to always be enthusiastic and happy about being there because at the end of the day, like I don't want to see someone,
Yeah.
you know, being constantly miserable and stuff like that. If I want now, well, I'll watch Job. So yeah,
That's funny because I had a question on here. Is he really that angry?
nah, he's not at all.
I figured he's not.
So he's he's Greek, right? So there's a lot of fire in the man. Simple as that. And a lot of people that watch my stuff, they have some pretty negative things to say about Joel. And the only thing I ever say is that look, first of all, this is entertainment to a degree as well. There's an element of playing a part there. Um, but equally everyone deals with the competitiveness, and whatever differently, and he's not like that at all. He's one of the nicest people I've ever known. I've never known someone to be so generous with their time. He's one of those guys where I picked his brains over the years that I've known him, which is not long, to be honest. It probably is about the 3 year mark, something like that. Even when he wasn't a bigger creator, I'd pick his brains on the editing side of things, and he does social media management and all that sort of stuff.
Mhm.
So, he understands all of that side of it, and I'm super lazy with that. Like his videos have always got an amazing intro. That he condenses into a reel and then he puts those reels out and blah blah. I don't do any of that. I've tried doing it. I never saw the payback, if you like. So I
Yeah,
just stopped doing it. And
yeah.
yeah, we still clash on that a little bit. He
I,
thinks I still have to do that.
I would say if people have if they want to shit talk Joel, I would direct them back to one of your, well, it probably goes back to 3 years. You had him host your
I
channel
did.
for a while,
Yeah.
and he's beardless. So first, you may not realize it's him. It's awesome. He's beardless, and he comes across so much
Yeah.
so different from what you see now. And I think that I would be like, just go watch that,
Yeah.
and tell me what you think. Tell me
That's
what
what
you're gonna
3 years
say.
of working with Ron Chopper does to a man. Simple
Yeah.
as that. Yeah.
I bet. I bet. I have so many other questions, but I'm gonna kind of keep it. I want to keep us close to an hour here.
Sure.
The the I guess this is sort of the last sort of serious question I would ask you, which is where do you want to go next with the channel? What's the
Mm.
next not plateau, what's that sort of next level? What's the vision now?
So I think now is the not the make or break, but I think certainly I've been thinking about this a lot. The next year, um, if the growth continues the way it is almost like a counterpoint decision. Of are we truly trying to make this something where I can consider it a revenue, like a job, and scale back with traditional work, and maybe try and pick up more in the editing space, to kind of like supplement that. But the overriding thing for me is that I still want this to be something that I enjoy doing. It's no good me trying to build this up to the point where it's a job if that feels like a job. If that makes sense,
Yeah.
like I I'm not under any illusions. Like right now, I don't understand. I earn about 500 Australian a month out of YouTube at the moment. So even at the 7,000 mark in terms of subs and 35,000 views a month, like that's the sort of money you're looking at, right? It's not life changing. Like it pays for my golf membership. That's it's and not much more. Definitely don't pay for the golf balls. So yeah, I've got to get to the point where that um, I don't want to just put like a hard sort of like timeline on it, but I'm now doing a job that I've never done. We haven't spoken about that, but I now work on a mine site, right? I've never
Yeah.
done anything like that in my entire life. I now do a physically intensive job in harsh conditions, like 40 plus degrees, working outside,
I heard you
like
talk about it when you first took the role,
yeah.
right? It's like 2 weeks
So
on and one off or something, but
two and two.
two
So
and two.
the
Yeah.
reason I did it was to give me something to uh, earn money, but then give me the time to
Yeah.
continue to create things. In a year's time, I'm 43 years old, right? I don't want to be doing, backbreaking work in the desert. Just because I'm kind of, also, still making these videos, and whatever. Like, I can probably go back to maybe doing different sort of job again, But no, I wanted to give this a red hot crack. So uh, I love working with those guys as well. I'm very hopeful that they're going to continue to grow, and a rising tide lifts all boats. Simple as
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think the opportunity is potentially there, but for now, I just want to keep making content that I'm proud of. And with a little bit of luck, that will continue to grow, and the more that grows, the more I can start to seriously think about, what that looks like, and go from there. But yeah, not giving up on it yet. But as I say, I don't want to be getting to mid-40s and sort of thinking, like, do I really still want to be going and doing this physical job? Just to allow me the time to, have some fun on camera every so often.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Well, I'm here. I'm in for the ride. Watch all your videos. Love them all. I do typically go through a quick rapid fire question thing that I like to do. Just some fun questions with my guests. And the last question that I had written on my sheet here that we just don't have time, but it's, let's have a frank discussion about snakes.
Sure. Yeah.
But I don't want to go. I don't want to go there. I haven't. We'll do the rapid fire questions because there is a snake question in the rapid fire question. I like watching the Australian videos because I love the fact that, one step too far looking for your ball on some of these courses is just a roll of the dice with your life. It's amazing.
If you saw the video of the cut, the cut is that sort of golf course.
Yeah.
Whereas at this time of year, if it goes in the bush, no, that's lost.
Leave it. Yeah. Okay, so let's go through these. We'll go through these pretty quick. First one I like to ask: Masters or the Open Championship?
The Open.
That's mine. Spikes or spikeless?
Spikeless.
Good. Rugby or Aussie rules?
Ooh. Aussie rules.
Okay. I still don't understand Aussie rules, but it's fun to watch.
Nor do I really. But I think, I know this is quick fire, but I genuinely think they might be the best athletes all around on the planet. Yeah, they're incredible.
It's pretty fun to watch. Okay, favorite men's pro?
Tommy or Rory? I can't choose. Probably Tommy.
Okay. Favorite women's pro?
Charlie Hull, for no reason whatsoever.
For the quality of the golf, Dave.
Absolutely.
Okay, here we go. Vegemite or carrion?
What was the second one?
Carrion, which is just dead animal meat.
Vegemite. I quite like Vegemite.
Do you like Vegemite?
Yeah, it's all right.
Okay. Let's see. This one may not make any sense. If you could be a guest on any YouTube channel, which would it be?
Oh, Mike plays golf, Oregon. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, this is an honour, but I love Pete. Pete Finch is amazing.
Yeah, he's awesome. You can't use the same one twice. If you could have any YouTuber as a guest on your channel, who would it be?
I'm just gonna play the numbers, Rick. Simple as that. There's a chance I might get to meet Rick.
Rick, and also Rick will get you out of the minefield.
Yeah, precisely.
Okay, this is an odd one. Bit by a funnel web, a brown snake, or a salty?
Cool. Wow. A salty getting bit by one of them, that's death. Like, there's not any way out of that. I don't think anyone's been killed by a funnel web since the 70s. So, but brown snakes have definitely killed some. So, yeah, out of all of them, I'd probably say a funnel web. Yeah. And we had a brown snake here in the house, not in the house, but on the property yesterday in one of the bird aviaries. My son had to go and extricate it. So it was about
fantastic. The salty also would leave you. Salty would leave you mangled for life as well. If you live.
Yeah.
Okay, just a couple more here. Dream course to play that you haven't played yet.
I'm going to say TRI in New Zealand, North Island.
That's mine.
There you go.
Honest to God, that's mine. Yes.
Yeah. It looks insane. I've looked at it on the VR as well, and it's just as good, as what the pictures look like. So, yeah, that would be it.
That and Terra Edie. I'd like to play Terra Edie. I was supposed to cross this one out. Can you introduce me to Elle McPherson since you're in Australia already?
I don't
But
think
we
she
hit.
lives here anymore. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. You have to play one of these, and all your friends will see it. You got to play it for a whole season. Which one are you going to go with? A chipper or a broomstick putter?
Oh wow.
And I'm
Yeah,
assuming they have
chipper.
the same. I'm assuming they have the same stigma in Australia as they do here.
Yeah, I mean they're not quite as bad as iron covers, but yeah, they're up there. Well, Adam
Right?
Scott used a broomstick up until not long
You did.
ago, so less so here. But I think personally, I would still rather use a chipper than a broomstick par. Yeah,
I think a chipper would help my game more than a broomstick would too.
yeah,
Okay,
right.
this is the last question.
Go.
I don't know if I can pull this off. Do you still hear perfect, perfect in your sleep?
So no, although every so often Tom brings that up. Tom,
The,
who's been on the channel a lot and
yeah,
is a good mate of mine, he does still, yeah, say, when can we bring that back? And I'm like, nah, I don't. It's one of those that uh, something that I learned over time that it wasn't a good use of the real estate, in a video similar as that. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with that over the years, when everyone was doing like proper full on intros. But and they're not going to come back because that's not what people want
yeah.
anymore.
I
So
I forgot about it. I forgot about it until I went and binged all your old videos, and I was like, oh, I forgot about this. That's
I
good.
just I don't even know where I found that. That's the thing. It's not like I went searching for it. It just, yeah, it stood out because it's from Street Fighter, like the game. Like
Yeah,
that's what that yeah, like, and I don't know why I thought it would be good, but yeah, I used to have it in everything. So
it's memorable.
yeah,
Good.
I see there's actually some questions in there as well.
Yeah, let's
Uh,
see. What do we got? So I did say hi to Jeremy and Sydney and Mitch. Looks like Mitch is really running down questions about Australian bands: Midnight Oil, ACDC, Men at Work, or NXS.
I mean, there's three really good bands in there.
He didn't even throw Kylie Minogue in there.
Yeah, Kylie's good. Oh, it's got to be Akadaka, mate. It has to be. Yeah, it's got to be ACDC. I would then say In Excess, then Midnight Oil, Men at Work, like down there after that. Yeah, cult song, but yeah, just the one.
Yeah,
But yeah, ACDC,
yeah,
definitely.
that's yeah. I think some good bands coming out of Australia. That's cool. Well, Dave, I don't want to take up any more of your time. I appreciate you spending the time to come on and to answer my questions and indulge my folly on this live stream. I appreciate your channel. Love watching your content. Love seeing you grow. Love watching you work with the guys that you work with. Encourage everybody who watches this, either in the live stream or when it gets reposted, to subscribe to 4 to 4 Golf and watch Dave's journey. I think it's not over yet. Still many great things to come. So thanks again, Dave, and hope you have a great rest of the day.
Thank you very much, Mike, and thank you everyone that's watched. And if you haven't, please go and subscribe to Mike's channel right now.
Thank
The
right now,
button's just down there.
right
Just
now.
easy. It's free as well.
It's free. That's what I tell them. It's free.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Dave. It's been great talking to you. Great to meet you.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Good night.